quick shout out, guys, to our sponsors, Anglesey Family Chiropractic. They're in Coeur d'Alene. They're in Spokane Valley. Dr. Craig Anglesey, I've known this dude for 30 plus years. He's an amazing family man. Awesome chiropractor, will get you feeling great. Go check him out. Hey, I also want to give a shout out to the Threads podcast, Life Unfiltered. Look, listening to this show is like sitting around a campfire with your best friends. The talk is real, the humor is natural, and personal growth is sparked by authenticity. Go check them out. Threads podcast, Life Unfiltered.
You're the founder of Bahlr Media, Corey. Thank you so much, man, for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think you're pretty great, so this is cool.
Dude, I have to say, this is the best backdrop I've ever seen any of my guests have. So thank you for putting that chair in the middle of the field, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. This is beautiful. It's like this is social distancing at its finest.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But I'd like to go back to the beginning, man. Where'd you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
Well, I grew up I was born in northern Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. Moved around a little bit around the Pacific Northwest as I grew up. I moved to Seattle, Spokane, back to Coeur d'Alene. I graduated high school in Rathdrum, Idaho. Grew up that way. Had a really tough, just my childhood was really tough and a hard upbringing, but eventually got out of it. I don't know how much details in regards to that, how we go, but
yeah,
just kind of had to come out of it. And instead of actually healing from all the trauma of my past, I just buried it in a pit of entrepreneurship, which is good for entrepreneurship, but now I have to deal with all of the things in my life. And I think that kind of what my life is at right now, just explaining that and working through all those things. I think it's a cool process.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
No, not at all. I just think that for me, it's hard to have a general awareness of yourself. But if you take yourself outside, right, and you look at who you are, I think my gift is I can, you know how people can just naturally do something like play a piano or, they just know. I just think that I've always been really good at processing quickly what I'm seeing and then communicating it. And so it just kind of turned into a marketing agency. And I think that if you have the ability to create analogies and ways to communicate where everybody can understand something, I think that's pretty cool. And that's kind of where that's my groove. It has its curses and its blessings, but I'm trying to take that and put it to somewhere that's a little bit more beneficial to myself and people around me and my family.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I've known you for a few years now and online, you're always so positive. What keeps you so positive all the time?
Necessity.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to be positive because that's the thing, man. And I haven't really talked about this very much. I actually have never talked about this publicly, but when people say that, like that is a common thing, right? You're positive, like that's really great. But I'll be honest, man, like in deep down in my heart, I think we can all just really identify with this, is I'm positive because I have spent so many years trying to win the affections and affirmations of the public. Like I really wanted to feel valued, validated, and appreciated and loved by those around me. And more than that, by people that don't even know me or nor the people that I know. I love bringing joy and happiness and positivity to the world, right? Or whatever world that I say is the world, right, to a society in my sphere. However, I have done that a lot at my own expense. I have not really channeled the gifts inside to the places that it really needed to go, which was into my own life, into my family, into my children. Sometimes I think that if we're not careful, we can use the positive gifts inside of our hearts and our minds, and we can, what does the Bible say, right? It talks about like casting like things on rocks, right? Instead of fertile ground. I've done that more times than I can ever imagine. I have completely taken beautiful seeds and gifts that I've been given by by God or by whatever, we all, I've been given those gifts by God, and I've just kind of like, and it's been great for the people or people around me in my circle, right? Which I love. I love that content that I create, businesses that I create, bring people joy. But in the end, they're not at fault for enjoying it for a moment. And what I really want is I want to enjoy my life eternally, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I found and learned the hard way is I have neglected to channel the positive things in my heart to the places that they really matter, where they are eternal, whether it be my belief in God or my family or my children. I've completely gone astray in regards to those things, and it's hurt me pretty bad. But the positive part is that I have realized it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it.
Oh, dude, that's a great answer. Thank you for sharing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a tendency to tangent a little bit. I'm sorry, bro, but
No, that was awesome.
I'll try to rein it in.
No problem, dude. Your company used to be called CJEP Studios. It's now called
Yep.
Bahlr Media. For those who don't know, why the name change and what's Bahlr Media all about, man?
Yeah, I love the story about CJEP to Bahlr. So CJEP, my name used to be Corey Jepson, and that's my birth name. And so CJEP was simply like, I was in college and I had this cool nickname that I created for myself. And it was like, I'm going to spell out the C in my name, Corey, just S-E-E. And then I'm going to just put Jep at the end because Jepson, CJEP. And then I spelt it out. And I was like, well, I'll create my company, or I'll just name it that. So it was named after me. 4 or 5 years go down the road, I started thinking my company was growing. I was like, I really don't like the company being named CJEP for many reasons. Number one, I don't like it being named after me because I want it to be more corporate. And then I also, it was really hard to spell and it didn't make any sense. People say CJEP all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm gonna rebrand. And it's a big deal for business owners. So like if business owners watch this and they're always afraid of changing their logo or their name, they need to remember that you care so much more about your name and logo than anybody else does. And you could change it anytime and people will still follow you. They'll still understand. They're very understanding of that. And we get really hung up on that. We romanticize about that stuff. So I just changed it and it was just fine. I changed it to Bahlr Media, and Bahlr was just something I thought of. I thought it was really cool sounding, Bahlr Media, but then I didn't want the name and aesthetic to only target the demographic of young people, like millennials and younger, right? We all think like, hey, if you hear the word baller, you're like, oh, you're a baller, you're awesome, you're cool, like you're balling out, you're doing all these things. I was like, yes, I want to target and invest the aesthetic of my company into the younger demographic, because in the future, in 10 to 15 years, guess who's going to have all the money and to be in the driver's seat of the economy? Millennials. They will be in charge. So I want to make sure that I'm addressing that and investing into that long-term future to where I will, how you go into a grocery store and you hear, now you and I are hearing like Huey Lewis in the news, and we're hearing maybe a little bit of Metallica somehow, and you're hearing like that stuff wasn't acceptable, but now I'm hearing in the grocery store. It's because we're in charge. Because we're in charge. And so I'm kind of tried to address that. So, but I also understand that right now is we're not in charge. We got baby boomers, right? They're our Gen Xers are kind of stepping in, and they're in charge. And so I didn't want to spell it Bahlr. I wanted to spell it very strongly. Bahlr. No E, just Bahlr. It's 5 letters. 5 letters in a name is great because there's a middle letter that balances it, right? So you got the H and it has that aesthetic balance. That's something that a designer would love, and I love it. That's where I come from. I was a designer first. Oh, nice. And it addresses that older demographic that will not think when they see it, they won't be like, oh, that's for the kids, they'll think, oh, that looks German. That looks like strong. And so I tried to so then I came up with that name. I introduced it. It was a really big deal when we introduced it. I unveiled it at a Christmas party, and we started Bahlr on the very first, January 1st, 2019. It was officially the new company. CJEP was Bahlr Media. And now, which I also haven't told anybody, I'll probably be dropping the media soon. It'll just be Bahlr.
Okay.
So,
Very nice.
but yeah, and we'll still do the same thing. And you did ask, what do we do?
Yeah.
We're an advertising firm. Our job is to communicate our clients' messages by any means necessary. You cannot have anything anymore in this world of any momentum or process or of perceived value to the community unless you're actually communicating. Sure,
Right.
you can have a dope ass website, logo, brand, and offering, right? You can have that. But if you're not communicating that thing, it's almost like having a really awesome boat and not taking it out on the lake or the ocean. It just sits in the dock. So the communication portion is what we do. We take your awesome boat, we get in it. Not only do we teach you how to drive it, but we teach you how great it is. And then we show everybody else how awesome it is. And they want to be your friend, right?
Yeah.
So we help our clients communicate. And we also build the boats.
Yeah.
We build the boats too. We'll build websites, logos, brands for our clients. But we also set out those reasonable expectations of, hey, you can't build a boat, finish the boat, and expect to win yet. You got to sail it. You got to drive it. And so that's what we do. And we communicate through consistency. And the last thing of what Bahlr does is we not only build the boat, drive the boat, but we drive it often. You cannot win in this world in business. You cannot win by the society's definition of winning in business unless you're consistent. So I could put marketing out. I could offer a great product, and I could have all the things in line. I could have the great boat. I could be sailing it, and it could actually take off, and everybody could love it day one. But if I don't sail it or take it out every day or every week, people won't trust me. So I have to continue to, for example, COVID-19, right? I'm sure you can't open your feed right now without seeing Bahlr advertising. You can't. In Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, is not a chance you're going to open your feed and not see advertising from Bahlr Media. That is consistency, right? So I don't care if you respond to the ad. I care that when COVID's over, you reflect and contemplate, and you remember when it's time, like when it's time to do your marketing again, you're like, damn, who are the only people that I've seen the past 6 months? You've seen Bahlr Media, because now that implements a message of trust. You know that through the hardest times in our economy, Bahlr was right in front of you, waiting for you to make a move. And we're here. So when you reach out, you've not only experienced the foundation of my company, the communication of my company, but you've also experienced the consistency of my company.
Yeah.
And so you enter in with an element of rapport.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
There you go.
No, that's perfect, man. That's awesome. And I have been seeing those ads everywhere, and man, it's so good to see those running around. You started this Instagram live interviews. I've been blessed to actually be part of that. Well, thank you so much for that. But why did you decide to start doing those?
I don't know. Just cause.
Dude, they're super cool.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't do that. I stopped. You were the last one, and I stopped doing them recently, just because honestly, man, I love them. And I think that they might look cool because I have a whole marketing company to make them look cool. Right. But I think that's really neat, but I don't know. I just wanted to, it was my way of keeping in touch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just something to do right now. I'm at home just like everybody else, or in a field in a leather chair, but I am not out. We're not working in the office. So it was just one way to, but that being said, there are other great people that are doing the same thing. There's so many, you're doing it right now. And I think that's, but what's cool about you is you've been doing this for a while. This is old hat. You've been killing it.
Trying, still learning, man.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it, man.
Well, thank you. What's been your favorite part of being an entrepreneur?
My favorite part. Man, that is a hard question because I don't have a lot of favorite parts of it. I'll be honest, man. I think the favorite part, but this is going to go real deep and personal with me.
Yeah.
My favorite part of being an entrepreneur is what it showed about my character.
Mm.
Like, I did not do it for the right reasons. I did not do it. CJEP and the growth and the videos were literally actions of an insecure and hurt, broken person that was burying personal pain that has just recently this year. Basically, my personal life was at its limit, and it said, no more of this, no more burying, no more work, no more. And you can call it a nervous breakdown, you can call it whatever. I don't know what I call it. All I know is it got my attention. You know in your heart when things are coming to their limit. Yeah. And what I love about the human spirit and the soul of a person is it does have limits. And I think that's awesome. It tells you when it's had enough without your permission. Mm-hmm. And so that's what it's taught me. And now what entrepreneurship has taught me now is that I don't need it to be happy.
Right.
Which actually opens up a considerable amount of freedom. So, for example, we have a client that pays us $10,000 a month, right? They pay Bahlr $10,000 a month to do their marketing. And that's normal. I mean, so that happens, right? That's great. And I'm so blessed and fortunate to have a company, but it obviously costs money as well to run the company.
Yeah.
You have employees, whatever. I don't care. See how I justify all of it? Because I'm afraid that people know that what you make, that is a wrong way to speak. But I have a client that pays that. I remember during this time of growth, of just identifying my pain and trying to work through it, is their payment declined. It was just because of their card expired. It was no financial problem. Right. But I didn't actually, the old Corey would have monitored that payment and all of our payments every day. And then I would have woke up at like 6 a.m. on that day of accounts receivable would come in. And I would look right away before I did anything, coffee, before I kissed my wife, before I did anything. That was what I did, right? I looked to see where our money was and what happened with the accounts receivable that night. And if there was any declines, I'd be like addressing it. I'd be like emailing and panicking and be like, oh my God. But lately, through my time of just like trying to be a better person and trying to understand what's important, I let it actually declined, and I didn't even know it until it was like four days had passed. And I thought when I found out that it declined and 4 days had gone by, I felt so much cathartic relief about it. I just felt so peaceful that it didn't rule me anymore. Yeah. And the reason it didn't rule me anymore was out of force. My psyche, my ego was like just absolutely destroyed by my soul. And there was just no room, and my soul just took over and said, there's no more room for this. We have to step in for Corey because he's not making the decisions anymore. We're going to make the decisions. And it was so broken that all the things I used to do, like check the accounts receivable, were over. Yeah. And I finally came to and saw it, and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even see that for 4 days, and it felt awesome. And I probably just went and had coffee with my wife that day, and I didn't even address it. Yeah. And guess what? Everything's fine.
Right.
I'm still alive.
Yeah. Yep. No kidding. Now, a few years back, you started this thing where you kind of giving random shout outs to just essentially people you were interacting with throughout the day. You did it for a full year. It inspired me to start the fighter shout out of the day for Top Rated May in January 2019. I'm still going into 2020. Why'd you do that? Because for me, like, it's been such a huge blessing to be able to connect with people through fighters and things like that. But why did you decide to start to do that?
It was in 2016. It was called Corey's 365.
Okay.
It was hashtag Corey's 365. And it was just a project that I thought I could do. I was like, I can tell somebody something nice. Like, we can say something nice about a person every day. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy to do this. So I did it every day. The only difference was I put my phone in my face and I did it on video and posted it on Facebook. And so it would say like, I'd tag Eric Allen and I'd do a little bullet and then I would do 42 out of 365. Let's say it was the 42nd day.
Yeah.
And then I would say hashtag Course 365. And I do it every day. And the thing is it had such an impact on people around me, which was great. Still, like we're talking about it right now. This is 4 years ago and we're still talking about it.
Yep.
Like it does amaze me to think that something so simple can have a ripple effect that lasts for 4 years. Like to me, that's such a long time ago, but still today people share their video.
Yeah.
And I'm still wrapping my head around that. So like, but in the end, I didn't do anything special. I just, like, Eric, if I told you to say something nice about one of your friends right now, I just said like, say a friend, like you have a friend named John or something. And I say something nice about John. What's nice about him? You would say a few things.
Yeah.
All's the difference. I just did it on camera. And every day I just woke up and I did that. And I could easily do it right now. I could pull up my phone. I could hold it in front of my face. Say, today I want to say something nice about my friend Eric. He is just an awesome entrepreneur, but what I love most about him is his dedication and his commitment to his family. I have spoken to him privately and publicly, and one thing that always comes out about Eric is his love and his commitment to his wife and his children. And I just think that is so admirable, and that is something that I would like to have in my life more. Anyways, just want to give you that shout out, Eric.
Thank you.
I hit stop, right? That is true.
Yeah.
But I didn't plan it.
I appreciate that.
Well, but it's true. But I just didn't plan saying that. So I just do it on a camera.
Yeah.
Upload that to Facebook and do it every day. And I did it for 365 days. It's not that, it's just, and it just takes off on its own. So the reason was because I can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given or you've seen?
I don't know. You can never really rate your advice through your whole life, right? Because I think that advice or that you're given is subject to the time you're in.
That's true.
So I could tell you the best piece of advice I got was probably last week. That it's because it's so real in my heart and I needed it, was 2 pieces of advice from my in-laws. Number 1, do not ever respond or act out of emotion. Your emotions are liars, and they are just there to help you or to notify you of pain or something, but they are not decision makers. They do not define truth. I could tell you right now that I could tell you a truth right now about this present time that wouldn't be necessarily true in the long run. It would just be true right now. And a truth right now does not mean it's true forever. So to be able to act out of that truth in the moment is not good. It is not healthy. So I could say anything, right? I could say, man, I'm just not feeling very good right now, and I feel like I'm a failure. That is true. I don't feel like that right now, but it's an example.
Yeah.
I could say, Eric, I feel so much like a failure. I am a failure. That's how I feel right now, that I am a failure. That is true. Right? That's true. Right now, I do feel like that.
Yeah.
Therefore, a person who acts on that feeling and says, they are telling the truth, but it's not the truth.
Right.
The truth is that you are not that. You are just experiencing that emotion. And so to be able to act out of that emotion hurts others. It hurts others. It hurts your atmosphere, your environment. It hurts your whole life if you're acting out of emotion. And so I was told by my father-in-law, never do that. Ever, ever, ever. That is a lie. You need to just understand what is the truth always.
Yeah.
The truth always is, the truth always is the truth always for you. What is your boundaries? And whatever your boundaries and commitments are, those are what you stick by, even in moments of, I want to give up, or I don't like this. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wanted to transition to a couple fun questions here for us. I've got these things. They're called pod decks. Essentially, they're just random questions for us podcasters. I'm going to pull one out. Hopefully it doesn't flop, and we'll see how it goes, man. What's the funniest name you can think of for a pet?
Oh, funniest name for a pet?
Yeah.
Argyle.
Argyle. That's a good one. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. I don't know. That'd be a hard one to really think about.
Yeah.
I don't like to answer that one lightly,
Right. Yeah.
It would
be high
very
level.
It would be very impulsive for me to answer a question like that.
Yeah.
I think a fear right now, like we could say a truth right now, a biggest fear would be in my life right now is to somehow lose control of taking care of myself.
Yeah.
But that's a fear I have control over. I can manage it as long as I stay true. But yeah, I don't know. That's the best one I can think of.
Okay, cool. I'm a music guy. What's the favorite band for you, or what's the favorite type of music that you like to listen to?
I like low key, like gentle music.
Okay.
I love old 60s music a lot too. But my favorite band is a band called Cigarettes After Sex.
Okay.
That's the band name. They're awesome. And if I could, they're the band I would love to see the most. I like Bon Iver and I like John Mayer. I like just chill music. I like a lot of piano music. I like a lot of and then also I do love 60s love music. So like last night, we listened to Sleepwalker? It's like in the movie La Bamba. It was really cool.
Oh, anyway. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. Last question for you. Does it take money to make money?
It's easier.
It's easier, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but then it comes easier. However, dude, does it take money to make money? Oh man, that is such a broad statement. Because sure, let's say you have $1 million, but do you know how to use it? And the only way you know how to use it to make it is experience. So you need both. You need experience and money to make it the easiest.
Yeah.
You can have experience and no money and make money.
Right.
But you can also, I don't think you can have money and no experience and make money.
That's true. That's true.
I think so. So I would say no.
Yeah.
But it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey, it's been such an honor to have you on my show, man. Thank you so much for opening up and sharing your story, man. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, man. It was a journey.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate it. If you could go and share this everywhere you can, leave us a review, leave us a rating. We would really appreciate it. That helps us get the word spread out about our podcast and about our show, and we can bring you amazing stories of the people that we bring on for the Bearded Biz and the Top Rated MMA show. Thank you again. Have an awesome day.